Australia, a land of diverse landscapes and ancient stories, has been inhabited for tens of thousands of years. The first Australians, the Aboriginal people, arrived on this vast continent between 50,000 and 65,000 years ago. They journeyed from maritime Southeast Asia, making Australia home to one of the oldest living cultures on Earth. These skilled navigators and resourceful people spread across the continent, adapting to its diverse environments. From the arid deserts to the lush rainforests, they forged deep connections to the land. Over time, they developed a rich tapestry of cultures with an estimated 250 distinct language groups. Aboriginal culture is deeply rooted in spirituality and a profound respect for the land. They possessed a complex system of knowledge about the environment, honed over generations. This knowledge was passed down through intricate storytelling, song, dance, and art, ensuring the survival and prosperity of their people for millennia. While Captain James Cook's voyage in 1770 is often credited as the discovery of Australia by Europeans, there is growing evidence to suggest earlier contact with other cultures. This evidence challenges the traditional narrative and opens up fascinating possibilities about the history of human exploration and interaction. Intriguing clues hint at the possibility of visits from Asian explorers long before European arrival. These explorers, possibly from China or Southeast Asia, might have navigated the vast oceans, reaching the distant shores of Australia. One compelling piece of evidence lies in the discovery of ancient coins along the Australian coastline. These coins, found in various locations, suggest that there were established trade routes and interactions with distant civilizations. These coins, some dating back to the 12th century, bear inscriptions from the Kilwa Sultanate, a powerful trading empire in East Africa. The presence of these coins in Australia indicates a far-reaching network of trade that connected different parts of the world. This discovery suggests potential trade routes that extended across the Indian Ocean, reaching Australian shores. These routes would have facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures, enriching the societies involved. Furthermore, oral histories from Aboriginal communities in Northern Australia recount encounters with seafaring peoples from the north. These stories, passed down through generations, provide valuable insights into the interactions between indigenous Australians and foreign traders. These stories, passed down through generations, describe visits from traders who brought goods and exchanged knowledge with the indigenous inhabitants. The goods exchanged could have included tools, ornaments, and other valuable items, while the knowledge shared might have encompassed navigation techniques, cultural practices, and more. While concrete evidence remains elusive, these tantalizing hints suggest a more complex and interconnected history of Australia before European colonization. The possibility of such early interactions highlights the dynamic and diverse nature of human history. Further research and archaeological discoveries may one day reveal the full extent of these ancient encounters. As we continue to uncover the past, we gain a deeper understanding of the rich tapestry of human history and the myriad connections that have shaped our world. The 17th century marked the beginning of sustained European interest in the vast, uncharted landmass of Terra Australis Incognita, the unknown southern land. This mysterious continent, shrouded in myth and speculation, captured the imaginations of explorers and mapmakers alike. They envisioned it as a land of untold riches and opportunities, waiting to be discovered and claimed. European explorers, driven by curiosity and the pursuit of new trade routes, began to chart the Australian coastline. These early voyages were fraught with danger and uncertainty, as sailors navigated treacherous waters and uncharted territories. Yet, the promise of new lands and potential wealth spurred them on, leading to a series of expeditions that gradually unveiled the secrets of the southern continent. In 1606, Dutch explorer Willem Janszoon became the first documented European to set foot on Australian soil, landing on the Cape York Peninsula. His journey marked a significant milestone in the history of exploration, as it provided the first tangible evidence of the continent's existence. Janszoon's encounter with the land and its indigenous inhabitants was brief, but it set the stage for future explorations. This encounter, however, did not lead to immediate colonization. The harsh and unfamiliar environment, coupled with limited resources and knowledge, deterred early settlers. For many years, the land remained largely untouched by European hands, its vast landscapes and indigenous cultures continuing to thrive in isolation. It was not until 1770 that Captain James Cook, leading the British expedition on the HMS Endeavour, charted the eastern coastline and claimed it for the British Crown, naming it New South Wales. Cook's meticulous mapping and detailed observations provided invaluable information, transforming the unknown into the known and sparking a new wave of interest in the continent. Cook's voyages, meticulously documented and widely publicized upon his return, sparked significant interest in Britain. His reports, filled with vivid descriptions of the land's potential, captivated the public and the government alike. The idea of a new territory, rich in resources and opportunities, began to take hold in the British imagination. His reports described a vast land ripe for exploitation, with fertile soil and abundant resources. The promise of agricultural prosperity and the discovery of valuable minerals painted a picture of a land of plenty, waiting to be harnessed for the benefit of the British Empire. This marked a turning point in Australia's history, setting the stage for the arrival of European settlers and the profound changes that would follow. The landscape, once dominated by indigenous cultures and untouched wilderness, began to transform under the influence of European colonization, leading to a new chapter in the continent's rich and complex history. Section 4. The colony takes root, British settlement and expansion. Driven by a complex mix of social and economic factors, Britain in 1788 established its first penal colony at Sydney Cove, marking the beginning of European settlement in Australia. This decision was influenced by the need to alleviate overcrowded prisons in Britain and to assert its presence in the Pacific region. The arrival of the First Fleet, 11 ships carrying over 1,000 convicts and their jailers, signaled a new chapter in the continent's history. These ships carried not only convicts but also marines, officers, and a few free settlers, all tasked with establishing a new society in an unknown land. Life in the early colony was harsh and unforgiving. The settlers faced numerous challenges, including food shortages, disease, and conflicts with the indigenous population. The initial years were marked by a struggle for survival as they adapted to the new environment. The settlers, ill-equipped to deal with the unfamiliar environment, struggled to establish themselves. Farming was particularly difficult due to the poor soil quality and lack of agricultural knowledge suited to the Australian climate. Many early attempts at cultivation failed, leading to further hardships. Despite the challenges, the colony at Sydney Cove grew, and exploration parties ventured further inland, encountering new landscapes and indigenous groups. These expeditions were crucial in mapping the territory and establishing new settlements, although they often led to conflicts with the indigenous peoples. As decades passed, the focus of the colony shifted from its penal origins to one of economic opportunity. Free settlers began to arrive in greater numbers, attracted by the promise of land and the potential for prosperity. The economy started to diversify, with agriculture, whaling, and sealing becoming important industries. The discovery of gold in New South Wales and Victoria in the 1850s triggered a massive influx of migrants seeking their fortunes. This gold rush era brought people from all over the world, dramatically increasing the population and leading to the establishment of new towns and infrastructure. This gold rush era fueled rapid population growth, transforming the social and economic landscape of the Australian colonies. The wealth generated from gold mining funded the development of cities, transportation networks, and other essential services, laying the foundation for modern Australia. Section 5. A time of dispossession. Impact on indigenous Australians. The arrival of European settlers had a devastating and lasting impact on the indigenous Australians. The British, operating under the doctrine of terra nullius, meaning land belonging to no one, claimed ownership of the land, disregarding the existing presence and rights of the Aboriginal people. This dispossession of land, the foundation of Aboriginal culture and spirituality, had catastrophic consequences. Indigenous communities were forcibly removed from their ancestral lands, often relocated to missions and reserves, their traditional way of life irrevocably disrupted. Furthermore, the introduction of European diseases such as smallpox and measles ravaged the indigenous population. These diseases, to which Aboriginal people had no immunity, spread rapidly, leading to widespread death and social upheaval. The impact of this dispossession and the violence that often accompanied it continue to cast a long shadow on Australian society today.